Hello everybody, welcome to Bike Scoop, our weekly show here at Performance Bicycle, where we talk about all the things that we're excited about that we want to share with you. Today I'm joined by Dan. He's one of our copywriters. How are you doing, Dan?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Good. Dan wrote our recent blog post that we put up on Monday and got some good comments from that, talking about why we are thankful for cycling. So we're going to be talking about that. It is Thanksgiving tomorrow, so Dan and I decided to have a nice tasty treat for us to eat here while we are going through why we are thankful. So this is our little Thanksgiving turkey dinner that Dan and I get to share here in the studio at Performance Bicycle. If this is your first time joining this happens every Wednesday at 3 p.m. It's the Performance Bike Scoop. So thanks for following us. Thanks for watching. You can also check us out on Instagram at Performance Bike. We're having a really cool giveaway right now that lasts for about the next month. We're giving away an e-bike. So head over there and check out the details on that.
The Sanibel, is that right?
Yeah, the Sanibel. It's super fun. I'm not going to say a lot because today we're here to talk about why we're thankful for bicycles. So first off, I think before Dan shares his story, we wanted to say thanks to you guys. So
Thank you.
All you men and women out there who follow us, especially our customers and really just anyone who's a cyclist who enjoys riding the bikes, who enjoys being in the sport and being a part of it. Thank you very much. Cycling is near and dear to our hearts. We love it. We've been doing it as long as we can remember. And it's important just to get folks on bikes. So thanks for being a cyclist. We're thankful for you. And if you're a performance customer, we're very appreciative of that as well. We've been around for about 35 years now. Started as a catalog company. We have a bunch of stores out there with a ton of associates who are also extremely thankful for you guys. So we appreciate you. All right, so thanks a lot. So Dan, why don't you kick us off? You wrote the blog post that we put up on Monday, and why don't you run folks through your story and why you're especially thankful for bicycles?
Sure. Yeah, my initial thought was about exercise because I hate exercising. I don't like to go to the gym. So, I'm thankful that I found a physical activity that I can enjoy. But I think there's more to it than that. So I started working here just a little over a year ago, and before then I hadn't really been on a bike in like 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So, when I started riding again, all these memories started kind of flooding back from when I was a kid. So, there's like this sense of freedom you get when you're riding a bike.
Totally.
There's this thrill, there's this energy to it. Kind of opens up your senses. You become more aware of your surroundings. So you tend to sort of live in the moment, and that, is something that I'm really thankful for.
Yeah.
So, it offers this really unique perspective that really only a bike can give. So not only has it really, it's improved my physical health, but it's also sort of improved my mental health. It's a great way to manage stress. Because I enjoy riding so much, it's been really easy to sort of integrate into my daily lifestyle.
Totally.
My daily routine. It's just because it's fun, it's just something that I just do on a regular basis now.
Yeah. And you mentioned that it's a good perspective from the bike.
Yeah.
There's been times where I've been on the bicycle where I've seen things that I would never see if I was in a car,
right,
ever. And one of them was, as years ago, I was out in the countryside in North Carolina, and as I was riding out, it was the sun hadn't quite gone down yet, but a full moon was rising. It may have actually even been one of the harvest moons, but it was this full moon, and it was up over this beautiful farm in the countryside, rolling hills and trees, and the leaves were gorgeous. But if I was driving, because it was back across my left shoulder, so if I was driving in a car, I never would have seen that. Right. And the crisp air and everything. Yeah. It's totally awesome. So, folks, if you're listening, feel free to tell us why you're thankful. Join in on the conversation. We are tracking this, watching this here on Facebook, and we'll check the comments and try to get to those a little bit later. All right. Let's see here. My story. I'll let you have a chance to eat here.
Oh,
I love bikes because I wouldn't be sitting here right now without them. I have twin 6-year-old daughters who love to ride bikes. They wouldn't be here without me riding bikes first.
Right.
And to backdate that, I met my wife through cycling too. So that's why I'm really thankful for it. I was working a desk job 9 to 5 a long time ago, and decided to start commuting. And when I decided to start commuting, it was more for fitness. But through that, I really fell in love with riding first road bikes, and I met a big group of folks. It became this kind of social thing. We started doing weeknight rides and weekend rides, and then they were doing one of the charity rides for the Bike MS. And so we started doing training rides for the Bike MS, and I got talked into doing this big event and training for my first, big ride. And I did. It was super fun, and I met just tons of people through that, and including my wife. So I ended up meeting my wife through riding bikes.
That's awesome.
I fell in love with bikes so much that I quit that day job. I started working at a local IBD, and I was there for a couple of years. And then we had our daughters, and I needed to get into kind of like, back to that kind of 9-to-5 job since I had the kids, and Performance was right here. So I started working at Performance, and I've been here for 6 years now. And so I literally wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for deciding to commute on a bicycle. Right. Like none of that ever would have happened. I never would have fallen in love with the sport. So that's kind of my story. We had some other customer stories. One was from a guy named Frank Lopez. He's got a great point of view. He says, this was a couple of days ago, he says that he got back on a bike for the first time at 68 years old. And he had also never had a new bike since then. So he got a new bike. He joined our weekly group rides. If you're not familiar with those, we have weekly group rides at all of our shops, most of our shops on Saturday mornings. And now he got back into riding. He climbed 3 mountains this year: Vail Summit, Lookout Man, Glenwood Canyon. And he says, at 68, he says that's not too bad. And he's gotten 5 of his family members into it as well. And so that's why Frank was thankful for riding bikes.
Yeah,
super cool. What else? You mentioned earlier about you had a good story about your father-in-law.
Yes, he's in his late 60s as well. So he's an avid cyclist. He does a lot of cross-country touring. He also does a lot of charity events. So being in his late 60s, he's actually in better shape than I am. So I mean, it's just really inspiring to go out on a ride with this guy and just see that, well, if he can get in such great shape and live a long and happy life, then bikes are definitely going to help me achieve the same sort of same thing.
Yeah. So. And that's a common theme that we've seen of reasons people are thankful for bikes, is that it's a sport that you don't really ever age out of it, really.
Right.
I mean, you can ride bicycles kind of forever. We talked earlier about being able to zone out. Mm-hmm. I'm thankful for bikes because that I can just forget about.
It's kind of that Zen mentality, I mean, that's exactly why I do it. I go out there just so I can, if I'm had a long week and I'm super stressed out, I get on a bike and it just kind of makes everything sort of go away.
Yeah. The peace and quiet.
Yep.
From especially mountain biking, if you're out in the woods, and enjoy some like nice long climbs, and you earn that turn down. You get up to the top of the mountain, you're looking out, and maybe it's a beautiful scene, and there's just nobody around. That's been one of the huge moments for me.
Yeah, it goes back to that perspective of you just don't really see a lot of those the sort of scenic things from a car. So you just get out and actually get to see things that you wouldn't normally see.
Totally. So let's see here. We got Pablo. He says he likes the freedom that cycling offers. We kind of mentioned that.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool too, because you can go wherever you want. You can go left, you can go right. If you're in the mountains on mountain bikes, you kind of have to choose your trail.
Well,
but
it's like riding downtown.
Options.
Yeah, it's like riding downtown. You're gonna, if you ride a bike, there's so much of your city that is, that you can explore. And it's that perspective, those experiences, the exploration of getting out there and finding things that you wouldn't normally find by riding a car, driving in a car, or even walking around. It's just that pace and that ability to sort of cover a lot of ground and kind of get in areas that you wouldn't normally notice while driving.
Yeah, let's hear who else we got. So Kate Foy, she says that she's thankful that bikes have given her a lifelong appreciation for the outdoors. So I can totally agree with that. It's a great way for folks that have maybe never done many outside activities. Get on a bike, go to the local bike path. So super good point there. And then lastly, we had a comment from Clark. a couple of days ago and said, I guess he had developed some knee pain, and his doctor told him to get on a bike and strengthen his knees through cycling. So it worked, and after 6 weeks, he had no pain anymore, and he said he'll never stop cycling. So that's a great point. It's a very low impact sport, and you can never age out of it. So I guess that's pretty much it. This food's pretty delicious here. I'm thankful for this hungry man.
It's not bad.
I'm a hungry man. I'm thankful for this food.
Yes.
And let's see here.
We got more.
Victor Acosta, he says he encourage cyclists to go around their local paths. Like it's a lifestyle, and we all need to adopt it. Good job, guys. Thanks, Victor. Yeah. We appreciate that.
Thanks, Victor.
Appreciate that. And so lastly, we'll round it out. This is the Bike Scoop. Happens every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Thanksgiving's tomorrow, so we wanted to just take a moment, tell everybody why we are thankful for bicycles. It's changed our lives here. That's why we love working at Performance and working in the industry. So thanks for the comments. Happy Thanksgiving, and most of all, we are thankful for you all. So thanks again.
Thanks.
And happy Thanksgiving. All right, we'll catch you next week.
Didn't even